Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're new to my channel, I welcome you. I'm Aspie and I'm all about creating awareness and health versus sharing my life stories of Aspergers Syndrome, OCD and the like, along the way with tips and advice for your general health as well as your mental health. I also do some words of encouragement for you all, just to enlighten your day as much as I can, to give you guys clarity and understanding to where you guys are maybe at, regardless of what you're struggling with. Hopefully I can be your support, mentor and advocate person. So it has been brought to my attention, as I said before, that I'm hoping to be as clear as day, as basically bringing out as much of obviously the autism series of basically everyday situations, be it whatever it may be, and even though we know most of it is autistic related, as well as I said health and awareness related. So this one's obviously going to be called Autism Spectrum Disorder and Communication. So let's begin this, and hopefully when all further ado, guys, basically as a heads up, as a disclaimer, as always, I'm no medical doctor, I'm just your normal everyday Joe vlog. So if you see any of the warning signs that I have clearly said about, regardless of any other topics that has been addressed on this channel, seek professional help for yourself or your loved one, as well as also maybe for yourself as well, because I don't forever condone self-harm. So without further ado, guys, basically, maybe wondering what is autism spectrum disorder, or as it's abbreviated down to ASD. So this one, obviously, as a term, is covered by a set of developmental disabilities, or as I try to do it, as a developmental disorder that can cause significant social, communication and behavioural challenges for people on the spectrum. People with ASD process information in their brain differently to any other person, be it your normal entities. ASD, I'm going to keep abbreviating down to for this autism spectrum disorder, just to bear in mind so that it's easier for you to understand. Affects people in many different ways and can range from the severity to mild to severe. People with ASD share some symptoms such as difficulties with social interaction, but there are many differences in when the symptoms may start, how severe they are, and how many symptoms there are, and whether or not the problems that correlates with it are present too. The signs of ASD begins before the age of 3, however, although some children may show hints of future problems within the first year of their life. Who is affected by ASD may be questioning is the next question. ASD affects people of every race, culture, ethnic group and socioeconomic backgrounds, but it is 5 times more common among boys than girls, apparently. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC as it's abbreviated down to, estimates that about 1 out of every 88 children will be identified with ASD. Next question along obviously will be, how does ASD affect communication in everyday life? Well, the word autism has its origin root of the Greek word autos, which means self. Children with ASD often are self-absorbed and seem to exist in a private world where they are unable to successfully communicate and be able to interact with others around them. Children with ASD, however, may have difficulty developing language skills and understanding what others are saying to them. They also may have difficulty communicating non-verbally, such as through hand gestures, eye contact, and facial expression. But bear in mind, not every child with ASD will have a language problem. A child's ability to communicate will vary from every child depending on their own intellectual and social development as they grow into adults. Some children with ASD may be able to speak, others may have rich vocabularies and be able to speak about specific subjects in greater detail than you can possibly imagine. Most children with ASD, however, have little or no problem with pronouncing words. The majority, however, have difficulty using language effectively, especially when they talk to other people. Many have problems with meaning and rhythm of words and sentences. They also may be unable to understand body language and the nuances of vocal tones. So here are below what I'm addressing to you of some of the patterns of language use and behaviours that are usually often found in children classically with ASD. Repeatable regular language is number 1. Often children with ASD who can speak will say things that have no meaning or that seem out of context in conversations with others. For a classic example, a child may count from 1 to 5 repetitively, or a child may repeat words they have heard over and over again, which is a condition known as echolalia. So it's a repetition of every word that they hear and come across. Immediate echoclia, however, will occur when the child repeats words someone has just used or even said. For example, the child may respond to a question by asking the same question. In the delayed echolalia, the child will repeat words heard at an earlier time frame. However, the child may say, "Do you want something to drink?" whenever they are asked for a drink. Sometimes children with ASD, however, may speak in a high-pitched or sing-song kind of voice, or use robotic-like speech. Other children may use stop phrases to start a conversation. A classic example may be for a child to say, "My name is Tom," even when he talks with friends or family. Still others may repeat what they hear on television programs or even in commercials. Another one of the patterns here of language use is narrow interest in exceptional abilities. Some children may be able to deliver an in-depth monologue about an everyday topic that holds their interest close to their heart, even though they may not be able to carry on a two-way conversation about that very same topic. Others may have musical talents or an advanced ability to count and do math calculations. Approximately 10% of children with ASD show savant skills or extremely high abilities in specific areas, such as calendar calculation, music, or math, but each to their own for these type children. Number 3, uneven language development. Many children with ASD develop some speech and language skills, but not to a normal level of ability, however, and their progress is usually uneven. For a classic example, they may develop a strong vocabulary in a particular area of interest very quickly at an early age. Many children will have good memories for information that they've just seen or heard. Some children may, however, be able to read words before 5 years of age, but they may not be able to comprehend what they have read. They often do not respond to the speech of others around them and may not respond to their own names. As a result, these children sometimes are mistakenly thought to have a hearing problem or just being able to be snubbed from whatever other conditions that comes to play. Last but not least, poor nonverbal conversational skills. Children with ASD are often unable to use gestures, body language, such as pointing to an object, to give meaning to their speech. They often will avoid eye contact, which may come across as if they're really rude and not even focusing on you or on the conversation at hand that you're dealing with them, however, or they may seem uninterested or inattentive. Without the meaningful gestures, however, or the language to communicate, many children with ASD becomes really frustrated in their attempts to make their feelings and needs known to the people around them. They may act out in frustration through vocal outbursts or any other inappropriate behaviours that we see. Just on a wee side note here, just to remember that not autistics will portray these developmental disorders that I'm sharing with you all today, as every autistic is different and need to be sure that we meet each and every individual needs early on enough to be able to help better their life in later years. How are the speech and language problems of ASD is treated? If a doctor does suspect, however, a child has ASD, or any other developmental disability or disorder, shall I say, they usually will refer the child to a variety of specialists, including a speech-language pathologist or a speech-language therapist. This is a health professional that will be trained to treat individuals with voice, speech, and language disorders. The speech-language pathologist, however, will perform a comprehensive evaluation of the child's ability to communicate and design an appropriate treatment program or plan to put into place. In addition, however, the pathologist might make a referral for audiological testing to make sure the child's hearing is absolutely normal. Teaching children with ASD, however, how to communicate is essential in helping them to reach their full potential and goals in life. There are many different approaches to improve communication skills, however. The best treatment program begins early. The earlier the better, as they say. During the preschool years, this is tailored to the child's age and interests. It will also address both the child's behaviour and communication skills and offer regular reinforcement of positive actions to be put into place. Most children with ASD will respond to highly structured specialised program. Parents or primary caregivers as well as other family members should be involved in the treatment program so it becomes part of the child's daily life as well as being able to put it into a written structure. For some younger children, however, improving verbal communication is a realistic goal of treatment. Parents and caregivers can increase a child's chance of reaching this goal by paying attention to their language development early on in life. Just as toddlers learn to crawl before they walk, so to speak, children first development pre-language skills before they begin to use any sense of words. These will include skills using eye contact, gestures, body movements, and babbling, and any other vocalizations that will help them to communicate to you. Children who may lack these skills, however, may be evaluated and treated by a speech-language pathologist to prevent further developmental delays later on in life. However, on the other hand, for slightly older children with ASD, basic communication training often will emphasize the functional use of language, such as learning to hold a conversation with another person, which includes staying on topic and taking turns while speaking. Some children with ASD may never develop verbal language skills. For them, the goal may be to acquire gestured communication, such as the use of sign language. For others, the goal may be to need to communicate the means of a symbol system to be put in place in which pictures will be used to convey their thoughts. Symbol systems can range from picture boards or cards to sophisticated electronic devices that has been introduced, such as your tablets, as well as some certain apps that has been developed too, that can help generate speech through these use of buttons that represents common items or actions. What is social and communication disorder? Social pragmatic communication disorder, or CSD, however, is indeed a new addition to the Diagnosis and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders in the 5th edition. SCD encompasses problems with social interaction, social understanding, and pragmatics. Pragmatics is usually referring to using language in a proper context. Last but not least, is another question you might be asking is, what is pragmatic? Continue on. What is pragmatic language disorder? Pragmatic language impairment, or PLI, or social pragmatic communication disorder, as I clearly illustrated, SCD, is an impairment in understanding pragmatic aspects of everyday language. This type of impairment was previously called semantic pragmatic disorder, SPD. What are pragmatics of language? Pragmatics refers to the social language skills that we use in our daily activities that we do in our daily interactions with others around us. This will include what we say, how we say it, our body language, how it portrays, and whether it is appropriate to the given situation and the everyday communication style. Pragmatic skills are vital for the communication disorder. As I said before, obviously this is new. So obviously we need to be able to know what is introduced here, which I'm going to hopefully later on introduce the DSM-5 versus the DSM-4, the differentiations between both of how you can clinically see the difference of how they diagnose children of everyday different developmental needs and context. What is the role of context and pragmatics? Obviously is the last question you might be wondering. An utterance can be defined as a word or sentence, which is uttered by a speaker. Pragmatics attempts to analyze how it happens, that often more is communicated and said. Types of context. Pragmatics is the study of the contribution of context to its everyday meaning. Well, this quickly ends basically Autism Spectrum Disorder and Communication. Give me a like, thumbs up for support, comment below, follow me on my social media site. Feel free to share these videos around to family and friends. Feel free to also just, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Feel free to also, if you haven't done so, turn on the notification bell so you can keep up to date to what I am doing. So without further ado, guys, thanks for your support, thanks for watching. Do what you love what you do. Until next time, Aspie signing out, and I'll see you again soon.